When it comes to anything creative, there is a saying that goes, kill your darlings. It means that in order to create something meaningful, you often have to let go of some of your favorite ideas, your favorite images or scenes or designs, because as precious as they are to your heart, trying to include them would somehow break the beauty of the rest of your creation. To achieve something worthwhile, your darlings often have to become the sacrificial energy on the altar of a greater idea. I have become an expert, a Jedi master, a Kung Fu legend, grade A professional at killing my darlings. Now, at about 3 years into my creative journey as a solo filmmaker, I've killed nearly every darling I have ever had. I have become such an efficient killer of darlings that I no longer create them at all. I no longer create anything, really. My last darling was 10 pages of single-spaced script in 10-point font, telling the story of how I now find myself living in a van on a beach in Mexico in February of 2023, because my whole life unraveled while living in a warehouse in Oakland, California in August of 2019. In the time between then and now, I have traveled tens of thousands of miles across 4 countries. I slept in a treehouse in the Dominican jungle and watched the Aurora Borealis high above the Arctic Circle. I've swam in the Caribbean, I've soaked in the Arctic, I've driven from California to North Carolina, and from the very top of Alaska to the very bottom of the Baja Peninsula. I've eaten spiced grasshoppers, fermented whale meat, smoked beluga, and berries picked freshly from the Arctic tundra. I ended a relationship. I've leaned on my friends more than I ever thought that I would. I've cried the length of the West Coast. I've been to the hospital twice. I've been in 1 car accident, and I have had more mechanical breakdowns than I ever thought possible with 1 cursed vehicle. It's a beautiful story, and someday I still want to tell it, but my clever ideas about just how to tell it, they just didn't work. And now here I am, ever the assassin of my own ideas, beating my head against a wall and unsure of how to carry forward. I get this way all the time, and then what happens is that I can't find the path. I can't see my way to the end of the story. I can't get a view of the entire idea. I'm not even sure how to start. And then life comes along, and I give up on having the energy to even try. And that is dumb. Because living a life with purpose is the process of creating the stories you want to tell. And the path to the end of those stories is never, ever clear. If we look within, every single one of us has at least 1 heap of unraveled thread, some injured or unfinished part of our soul that's buried somewhere deep inside. And the purpose of life, at least the purpose of life for me, is to take hold of one end of that thread and throw the rest as far as you can in the direction your soul wants to travel. Then you let that thread lead your path, and you gather it up as you go, and you weave it into something beautiful. And if that is the way I live my life, that is probably naturally the way that I should tell my stories. And this thing that you're sitting here watching is the first step down that path. It's the first over-under of weaving an unraveled life into something beautiful and worth sharing. I don't know how I'm getting to the end yet. I don't actually know what the next step is. I just know that if I never make this first step, I will never get to that end at all. So here is to the mess. Here is to the knots and the tangles and the unknown path Whoa. The unknown path we all have to walk. Here's to creating how you live and continuing to put one foot in front of the other, even though you have no idea where it will all end up. I hope with all of my heart that you're out there walking your own journey. I hope that you're following the unraveled threads of your own soul and weaving them into something that is beautiful for you. And I hope that at the end of that path, we can all look back at the paths that we've walked, the journeys we've traveled, and the things that we've created, and be proud of them. So I hope that no matter where you are, you're having a good day, you're enjoying your life, and you're on your way to creating something beautiful. All right, thank you. See you on the next one.